Every year, we see new faces in Counter-Strike who play at such a high level that they surpass what was previously considered unachievable. Even Sasha Simple used to be just a young lad with a bright future. And look at him today, the best player in the world. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, because you're watching CYBERSHOKE. And today, we're going to be reviewing 2022 and tell you about the most promising breakthrough players of the previous year. Jabbi. 19-year-old Jabbi is number 1 on our list. The first time he really stood out was in 2020, when he was invited to the new Copenhagen Flames roster. Even then, our guy showed great results, and big bosses decided to give him a chance. At first, things were going bad in Flames. Even after half a year of training, they couldn't get a foothold in the top 50, and Jabbi himself finished that year with a 0.89 KD. Frankly, a low number for a player who's just supposed to deliver frags. Anyway, the Danes managed to get into the top 30 by March 2021, and with Hooksey's arrival, they became a decent Tier 2 team. In 2022, Flames won a couple of tournaments, and most importantly showed great results on the Major in November. They went all the way and finished the new Challenger stage with a 3-0 score, beating Astralis, Big, and Heroic. They stopped at New Legends, lacking just one win to make it into the playoffs. Under Hooksey's wing, Jabbi started to shine and finished 2021 with a 1.06 rating, a 10% improvement from the previous year. In 2022, Flames reached a level so high, it looks like even the organization didn't expect it. The Danes got a foothold in the top 20 of HLTV's rankings, made it to the top 4 on 5 different tournaments, and finished in first place in their RMR group. Thanks to these results, our guys received a spot in the top 16 of the upcoming Major, which is impressive in and of itself. On the Major, Flames won the first 2 games against Bad News Eagles and Ents, but failed against Team Spirit and FaZe Clan. When there was no more room for error, they faced Imperial and won.
Zyphon's down on top, but there it is! Finally! The 5th time's the charm! The Copenhagen Flames, they lift the curse! They shed their demons and burn brighter than ever before!
As a result, Flames finished that Major in 8th place and became the 11th best team in the world. It was at that time when the managers realized that they couldn't afford to pay a salary to a team who made it into the Major playoffs and was now on the verge of getting into the top 10. So Flames transfer listed their whole roster for 160,000 euros, but couldn't find a buyer. Then all the players were just free to go. All this time, Jabbi continued to show stable growth. That year, his rating for Copenhagen Flames was 1.10, and that didn't go unnoticed. It was Heroic who signed him with the words, "We are ready to risk something good for a chance to become the best." With Jabbi's arrival, the Danes started to face a few problems. By September, they fell to 15th place of HLTV rankings, which was the worst result for an organization in the past 2 years. Luckily, they recovered, and by December, became the #1 team in the world, winning Blast and securing 2nd place on the Major. The transition to a Tier 1 level seriously affected Jacob's performance. In just a few weeks, his rating fell from 1.10 to 1.03. But anyway, Heroic showed great results, and all the teammates were happy with our guy. Here's what Kadian said about him. "I can't even describe how signing Jabbi helped our team. His initiative is very important for us." Jabbi is a very talented player who in 2022 finally made it to the Tier 1 level and won his first tournament. We hope that it's just the beginning for him. Wonderful. Our second breakthrough story is Wonderfuls. Igor started to play CS at a very young age, and at 15 started a blog where he shared his results and achievements. And like any other player, Igor faced lots of obstacles. He couldn't find the ideal mouse sensitivity, he visited LANs where admins would shut off your PC for punching the table, and he struggled to find the perfect training system. But most importantly, Wonderful constantly posted his CSGO hours for the most recent 2 weeks, which were never lower than 120. When he was 15, he got into FPLC and made a name for himself at the Ukrainian semi-pro scene. In 2020, Igor was already playing at the Tier 3 level. In March, he shared his Faceit KD for the last 20 matches, and it was a very impressive 3.52. Then in June, he made it to HLTV and showed sick highlights like this one.
Wonderful, 1 в 3. Дает префы, попадает довольно серьезно. 1 в 4, да, прошу прощения, попадает по-дробному. Да, в спине же еще есть один товарищ. Он постреляет туда префом на всякий случай, но вот пытается двухтипового дробного забрать. Молотов под него же, дробный тут же сгорает. Как же найти ему соперника на балконе? Ну вот, в общем-то, нашел. 8 патронов в обойме. Хедшот. 1 в 1. Глок в руках. 20 секунд до окончания раунда. Нифига себе. Wonderful тащит клатч. Он сейчас эйс может дать. И это эйс! Это клатч!
In August, Wonderful was signed by Majesty, but left in December to start 2021 in the Project X roster instead, the same team that you all know as Akuma. With them, Igor gave his opponents a real good fight. For instance, the guys used to win top 43 Win Strike and top 67 Trident. After leaving Project X due to the bad results, Wonderful was sitting without a team for almost a month, but later got into the Ukrainian Trasco. The guys showed moderate results and were ranked at number 55 at their peak. Even then, everyone knew that Igor had great potential. His KD in Trasco was 1.5, and by the end of 2021, he got signed by Hellraisers. Unfortunately, the team just didn't get along. By March, Wonderful already left the organization, and since he was a very skilled sniper, he waited for a worthy offer. Turns out, that was a good call. Dexter, the superstar of Team Spirit, refused to relocate to Serbia and left the roster. Dragons looked for a player who could replace him and essentially become a second Abdul. In other words, do a ton of frags. And so Wonderful was the perfect candidate for them. On June 21st, 2022, Igor officially became a member of the top 10 team Spirit. It would be fair to say that our guy jumped straight from Tier 3 to Tier 1. From the very first day, young Wonderful proved to the team that picking him was the right call. The coach praised Igor for his approach to the game, and his other teammates were just amazed by his skill, and even predicted that he would end up outperforming Dexter. His breakthrough moment was in Rio, where Dragons directly qualified into the top 16 by RMR points. The guys made it to the Legend stage and lost only to Heroic, who would later end up at the Grand Finals. In Rio, Wonderful's KD was 1.41, which helped him to become the 7th best player on his very first major. Today, Spirit is a stable top 15 team, and Igor performs at a level so high that next year, it's likely he'll make it into the yearly top 20. Just a year ago, no one even knew about this guy, and now today, he's a big star on one of the best CIS teams. SunPayus. 24-year-old SunPayus is the oldest player on our list. Until August 2021, he was just hopping between Spanish teams, only rarely appearing on HLTV. You see, Spanish CSGO hasn't developed quite as well as other European countries, so it's very hard for talented players to make a name. They only have one decent team, Movie Star Riders, while all others are quite unstable. Thus, if you're Spanish and you want to go pro, your only option is to make it to Movie Star. And so, Alvaro did just that after a 3-year-long journey, and in August 2021, started to represent his country on the international level. It was a big responsibility for SunPayus, because if early on he was just playing on the local scene, then now he would visit very big lands. It was important to prove he was good, and he did it. Movie Star took 5th place at the 16th season of Intel Extreme Masters, qualified to the Stockholm Major, and finished 2021 at 20th place of HLTV rankings. The next year in 2022, the guys reached such a high level that they could beat any Tier 1 team. Movie Star started to receive invitations to the top tier tournaments, and by July was ranked 10th by HLTV. They ranked at 8th place on ESL Pro League and at Blast in spring. Then they made it to the top 4 of the Global Esports Tour in Dubai, and also made quite a sensation in Cologne. There, Movie Star passed the group stage, beat Liquid in the quarterfinals, and left the tournament only after losing to the future champions, FaZe. It was at that time when the world started talking about SunPayus. He became the 11th best player in Cologne, and his overall KD in Movie Star was 1.26. Quite impressive considering he secured this number mostly against Tier 1 and Tier 2 teams. So it's no wonder that in August, he was invited to one of the best European rosters, ENCE. With them, Alvaro almost made it to the Rio playoffs, won an online tournament CCT, and continued to play just as good as before, with his current KD being at 1.24. SunPayus' story amazes because at his slightly older age, it's pretty difficult to be considered a breakthrough player anymore. For a long time, he was stuck in the Spanish scene, until Movie Star gave him a chance, and he made the best of it. Fame. Today we know 19-year-old Fame as a major winner and the star of Outsiders, but how did he get there? Let's find out. Peter signed his first professional contract without even having an HLTV profile. He played so good on Face It and CIS mixes that the organization S Gaming decided to invite him anyway. By the way, it's very interesting that Fame got in the team while living in a real Cossack village. Fame spent almost a year in S Gaming. At that time, the team didn't win anything and peaked only at 53rd place in HLTV rankings. Meanwhile, though, our hero showed outstanding results, and that didn't go unnoticed. In January 2021, Peter became a player of K23. K23 was a very long chapter in Fame's career. With them, Peter grew from a Tier 3 level all the way to being top 16 on HLTV, and also won a couple of decent tournaments. In spring of 2022, Virtus Pro faced a big problem. Buster and Yekindar left the roster and had to be replaced as soon as possible. In May, Fame and Norbert were officially transferred from K23 to VP. For both of them, it was a big step up. By October, they already made it to the top 10, and in December became the third CIS team to win a major.
The Outsiders prepare to start new celebrations. Finally, Outsiders. 6 years Dastan and Jane been chasing this dream. They got the right pieces, and now they got a piece for the trophy cabinet.
Their 5th major appearance.
m0NESY. The last name on our list could easily surprise you. Let us explain. Yeah, m0NESY has been known for a very long time now. Even in 2019, he gathered thousands of fans on his streams, and it's been more than 3 years since he got invited to FPL, so why call him a breakthrough? Well, esports-wise, until signing with G2, m0NESY was playing at a Tier 3 level. Yes, he crashed every opponent he faced. Yes, his KD in Navi Jr. was 1.36, but he was still only Tier 3. Team-wise, m0NESY's peak before G2 was a measly 37th place in HLTV rankings. Career-wise, it was 2022 when m0NESY revealed his true potential. He joined G2 on January 3rd, and since then, the world has been doing nothing but discussing his talent. On the last big LAN of 2022, Ilya not only took first place, but also secured an MVP award. By the way, we have a whole video about his fascinating story here on our channel. Check it out if you want to know more about m0NESY. So, what do you think about our list? Do you agree with us, or would you do it differently? Let's discuss it in the comments. And please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. We truly appreciate when you do. Goodbye for now.